Hi, I'm Mike. I am the Plumbing Division Manager here at Jackson Comfort Services in Northeast Ohio. And today we're going to talk about some of the challenges that customers have with low water pressure. In the 30 years that I've been doing this, it is a common question we get asked a lot. And today we're going to go through some of the differences between city and well water, and we're going to discuss some of the things you can do on your own and some of the things that would require a professional. So first, we're going to talk about what unit of measure we use for pressure. And we say PSI. That stands for pounds per square inch. It's similar to like inches when you're measuring a distance. So we're going to talk about PSI, which is your water pressure. In general, there are little differences between city and well water pressure, but we're going to talk about some specifics on whether or not you're having an issue with the entire home or just a specific area. And we'll get into some of the details on how you can possibly diagnose some of these things and fix them, or when it's time to call a professional. So first, we're going to talk about city water. On city water, you generally get your water from the water department. Most homeowners know they're on city water because they pay their water bill. That water is provided to you by the water department. That water pressure is also provided to you by the water department. Most of the time, water pressure on city water is somewhere between 75 and 80 psi. So generally speaking, most homeowners have the same water pressure as anybody else in any other part of the country. Here in Northeast Ohio, a lot of the water comes in at higher pressures, and we'll talk about how we regulate that down. Some of the issues that we run into and some of the questions that we ask customers are you having a problem with just one fixture or in just one location of the home? If that's the case, generally speaking, that is somewhat of a simpler solution. A lot of times a homeowner would say, hey, I have this one bathroom, this one faucet that I don't get a lot of pressure out of. Well, in that case, there may be just a simple issue of the aerator, which is like the screen on the end of the faucet, is clogged up. Most aerators, you can take off the faucet and unthread them, take them out and clean them, rinse them under the water and reinstall them. And generally that will cause the pressure to come back. This can also happen in just a shower or tub shower. In a shower or tub shower, the shower head itself, if you have some basic skills, you can remove the shower head and check and see if the screen inside the shower head is clogged. That can be rinsed out and cleaned and reinstalled, and that might solve your issue when you're having something simple like that happening. A lot of times, homeowners will call and they'll say that it is the entire house. Like, I just don't have the pressure I used to have. Now, on city water, it's generally a good idea because no one has any control over the supply to call your water purveyor, your water department. Call the water department and see if something's going on. They may be having some issues with their pumps. They may be having a water main break somewhere, which is causing low pressure in the neighborhood. And so the first phone call should really be to the water department. After that, pretty much everything inside the house besides the water meter is your responsibility in Northeast Ohio where we are. So there are some devices that are installed that could cause some lower water pressure or some pressure issues. A lot of times the water pressure provided to the home is way too high. It's over 100 psi. We need to regulate that down. So we install a device called a pressure regulator. This pressure regulator is mechanical inside. It can fail. So while we are supposed to be sending you 75 psi, we may be sending it through at 40, which is a lot less. So a lot of times, if this device is going bad or it got clogged up, where there are some screens inside, you would need a professional to come out and assess that, remove it. Here at Jackson Comfort, we actually keep these on every truck, on every plumbing truck, because it's that common. So this could be one of the issues you're having. Another thing is you may have a filter or water treatment installed, even on city water. A lot of water filtration systems will have a cartridge filter like this that the actual filter needs to be removed and replaced because it's clogged up. So that might be something, especially if you're new to the home and you don't realize that something in here needs replaced. That could be part of the issue. In water treatment, water softening, Jackson Comfort, we install a lot of water treatment. This particular system could require some sort of annual maintenance. And if you're new to the home and you don't know that, there are some passageways and filters in there that might need to be cleaned out. And so that might be the issue as well. There are some other issues. If you've had any issues, any remodeling done in your home, you may have a shutoff valve somewhere in the home that was partially opened, partially closed during that process. And, you may have to go through, if you feel comfortable enough, and check all the shutoff valves in the home to be sure that they're on all the way, they're fully on. Now, I will say some shutoff valves do get corroded and they don't look great. So you may want a professional to come out and check those out for you too. So those are some of the issues that we have with city water. In the next segment, we'll get on to well water. So now we're going to talk about well water pressure, private water system. The little differences between the two. City water, your water is provided to you by the water department. When you're on a private well system, you are your water provider. You provide the water to yourself. One of the main differences is city water pressure, even if we're regulating it, is around 75 psi. For those of you who are new to a well or have never been on a well water pressure generally fluctuates, and it can fluctuate anywhere from, at the bottom end, 30 to 40 psi up to 60 psi. So even generally at its high end, it doesn't reach the same pressure that city water reaches. So a lot of times if you move or you're in a house with a well, you may just think that you have low water pressure because there's an issue, but it may just be that well water just doesn't have as much pressure. Now, there are some things that we can do to increase the pressure and change the type of system you have. And here at Jackson Comfort, we can do that. But in general, we're going to talk about some of the issues that you could be having in your home that could cause low pressure. So a lot of calls we get are about low water pressure at a particular fixture or faucet. Now, a lot of times when that happens, it could just be the faucet itself. So on a lavatory sink faucet, in most faucets, there is a device called an aerator. That's a screen where the water comes out, and that screen does have to be cleaned every once in a while. So they unscrew, there's a screen in there, you can rinse them under the water, you can clean it out, reinstall it, and see if that corrects your water pressure. Also, in a tub shower or shower stall, the shower heads can also need to be cleaned out. Sometimes you have to take the shower head off. If you have that skill set, you can clean the screen that's inside of there. A lot of times too, if there's some mineral buildup on the shower head itself, it may need to be cleaned off with something that can remove the minerals, or you just need to replace the shower head. So those are some of the basic things that a homeowner can handle on well water to take care of some of the low pressure issues. Some of the bigger issues that can happen on well water pressure have to do with some of the equipment that provides you with your water. So on a well system in general, you have a pump, you have a pressure tank, and a switch. And then after that, usually you have some sort of water treatment. Well water needs treated. So a lot of times you'll have a filter. There may be a filter cartridge inside here that needs to be replaced. They are harboring everything and holding it, so they will also drop your water pressure. So that may need to come apart, and a filter may need replaced. A lot of water softeners and water treatment. Here at Jackson Comfort, we do a lot of water treatment installs, and some of this equipment does need some annual checkup. So if you're new to it, you're new to some of that equipment, you may just have to have a professional come in and check the control, make sure that everything's cleaned out and functioning properly. As far as the actual water equipment that provides you with your water, the well pump, the pressure tank, inside the home, you generally see these type of devices. You'll see a pressure tank. A lot of those things that we handle at Jackson Comfort inside the home, we'll need a professional diagnostic on them. Sometimes we have to run a little bit of a water test on the well and whatnot, but all those things can be done by a professional, especially if you're having a global issue. Now, one of the other things, if it's sort of a sectional issue in the home, you have to think about whether or not you had any type of remodeling or anybody's been touching any water pipes, just like on city water. Possibly there's a shutoff valve that might be corroded, or a shutoff valve that might need to be replaced or partially shut off. If you feel comfortable doing that, check the valves. If they're corroded, they can sometimes be not so great. You may want a professional to come look at that. So those are some of the things you can check and do to take care of your low water pressure issues on a well system. So those are some of the general things that you can check when you have low water pressure, whether it's city water, well water. And keep in mind that some of the things you can do as a homeowner, some of the things with faucets, with aerators, shower heads, shutoff valves, you can check shutoff valves in your home, make sure they're turned on all the way. And if you have the skill set to change a filter cartridge, you can even do that. Some of the bigger global issues, remember, you can call your water department. If you're on city water, make sure that there's not an issue with that. And then if you're in Northeast Ohio and you're having some of the bigger issues, by all means, give Jackson Comfort a call. We have professional plumbers on staff, and we are ready to take care of your issues. I hope you found this video helpful on any issues you're having with low water pressure. And remember, we're going to have lots more video on tips and tricks for plumbing and HVAC in the future, and we'll see you in the next video.